This is how it feels to lose in Europe, mate. To lose. Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a day after post-match reaction of Liverpool 2, Toulouse 3. Not a great game, not good to have this back-to-back off the back of the Luton game, which we drew, which was also disappointing. But if I am going to make a claim, I do think people are slightly overreacting a little bit. I don't think it's as big of a deal that people are making out to be in terms of, you know, this big massive catastrophe and a terrible thing. Is it not? Is it good to lose to a 14th place team in France? No, it never is. Is it good to lose in the Europa League full stop? No. But we did rotate every single one of our players, and yes, they still should have won. I'm not trying to make the excuse that they shouldn't have, but this big uproar online seems to me to be a little bit more thing. I didn't really care. I don't like losing. I was upset for the first 5 minutes. Got over it very quickly. I realised we're still going to finish first in this group. Kwanzaa's goal was probably unrightly disallowed at the end of the game as well, because I didn't really think that was a handball from McAllister. But am I going to cry about referees? No, because I don't think the Europa League is worth me crying about the referees unless it's a significant game. I don't really look at that one as a significant game. I think it was worth making all the changes. I think it was worth making, putting Ben Doak at right wing and the midfield changes. And I am going to clarify on a few performances which have sort of backed up some claims that I've made in recent times. But at the same time, if you're going to judge everybody based off of this one performance, even the people who I'm going to mention, I think it's unfair. Someone messaged me yesterday saying, like, James, that was an example of why Cody Gakpo can't start up front for us. I'm like, wow, if that's going to be your premise when we've started with a pre-season 11, and that's how you're going to judge Cody Gakpo, well, you haven't gave him a fair opportunity in comparison to Nunes, have you? But I will agree, Gakpo was not great yesterday, and I feel like the whole team wasn't. I feel like the whole team found it hard to be cohesive with each other, and that was a big reason why we didn't really do great on the ball. We weren't too effective off the ball, and that's what led to a 3-2 loss. Fair play to Toulouse, by the way, because, big result for them. The fans were loud all game as well, so that was great atmosphere. But I don't think there was anything to do with it being an away game, which people are trying to come up with the theories of. Oh, it was an away game, which is why we didn't do as good. Factually, most teams do worse when they're away from home. That being said, I don't think that was why we lost. I think we lost just because we didn't play that great. But we still could have got a draw out of it, if you take into account the decision at the end. Even though we never got it, it's still not the end of the world. So let's talk about a few individual performances. Arishika Casillas has been concerning for me in the Europa League campaign, I'm not going to lie. And I do think we're starting to realise that outside of these penalty shootout amazing moments, I believe he's undefeated at penalty shootouts when it comes to being in the Liverpool shirt. Last season he won the Derby game, the Derby County game, not the Derby and Merseyside Derby County game in one of the cups. There was also another game, Arsenal 4-4 a couple of years ago. The one of the finals, I think it was the League Cup final, when we won the League Cup. So that was huge from Kelleher as well. So he's had his moments, but in terms of his in-game decision making, it's not been one to relish or wonder, but he doesn't play often, so I'm not really going to blame him. I just don't think he's as good as Alisson, so it's quite easy to be disappointed. Another player that I'd like to mention, Endo. I thought Endo was fine in moments, but I also think we've seen enough of Endo to realise he's not going to be good enough for a regular starting place at Liverpool, because at Liverpool we're not here talking about a mid-table team or top 4 team, which Endo would be completely fine to do. He'd be fine to play for Luton, more than fine in fact. He'd be fine to play for some teams in the Prem, but Liverpool just isn't one of them as a starter. In terms of a utility man, fine, but I just think we know Enzo's level, and that's not me hating on Enzo. I love the Japanese Iniesta, and I'll continue to call him the Japanese Iniesta because he rightly deserves it, but not based on his quality, but based on shamelessness. Yeah, he's fine, and that's why Stuttgart liked him, because he was fine, and he was very good for them. For us, he's not going to be good enough in my opinion. I felt a little young coming there. McAllister, I think we can all agree, McAllister, if you rank all of our midfielders, Szoboszlai 1, Gravenberch 2, Curtis Jones 3, McAllister 4, based on performance. I could even argue if you put Elliott in that conversation, McAllister's above Elliott based on impact. That's not to say he's been bad. I just think the top 4 have been really good. and McAllister's just been meh. You know what I mean? People take this as slander. I just don't think he's been that good this season. Not just in this game, but in numerous games. And I think the jury's out on McAllister on whether or not he should be playing regularly right now. And here's the thing on the two statements I've just made. I made a statement about Endo not quite being good enough for the first team, and McAllister starting above it, out and out CDM tells that to me. And, Endo being a starter shouldn't happen. McAllister being a DM shouldn't happen. Yet McAllister's still above Endo at the CDM role. And he hasn't been good enough himself. Whereas the likes of Curtis Jones, the likes of Gravenberch have been putting in great performances all season. And I've enjoyed watching them play. And I'm looking forward to Curtis Jones getting over this little injury. I'm looking forward to Gravenberch getting over this little injury. And hopefully we will see some prosperous results off that. But we do still need a CDM. I think that's the most clarified thing. And to see these reports talking about no CDM in January, it is going to happen. I promise, guys, it's going to happen. Like, I know everyone's sitting there thinking it's not going to happen and we'll be fine. I think it's going to happen. I think we're not going to get a CDM this January, which will be the biggest concern out of all of them. So, yeah, listen, there's a lot of things to be questionable about in terms of recent performances, but I think people are being a bit over the top. Fair play to Kwanzaa, still thought he done bits well. And other good performances, let me know about them in the comments down below. But listen, we've got Premier League football to focus on, Brentford next, and then the international break. And then hopefully that international break can come at a good time, because it seems like that we're getting a little bit wavy, you know what I mean? And a couple of injuries here and there could be a cause of concern. But I'm not too worried. It's a loss. It's not like it's 2 seasons ago where I don't expect this team to lose at all. And I think everyone on Twitter's being a bit too over the top. But that's just my opinion. I do still think that there's a lot of room for improvement, no doubt. And I do still think we can do a lot more to improve. But until then, I think we just need to not be as reactionary. Did you see after the game, Jurgen Klopp? And he was doing his press conference in a tent, and the Toulouse fans just walked right past the tent and he was screaming. Yeah, Klopp was so fucking embarrassed. It was wild. It was great as well. It was quite funny and humorous, but still, like, quite unprofessional. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think Toulouse are 22 times French League champions. You know what I mean? Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I've done this as a first wake up. Felt another year coming. Maybe. So, as I said, just woke up, hence why I've yawned 3 times in this video. My eyes are squinted like this. I'm not stoned. I promise I'm not stoned. I did just wake up. These are sleepy eyes. Sleepy eyes. Plus, there's a big beaming light in my face. You should see the size of this light in my face. It is huge. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've now got like 5 eyes instead of 2. Thank you for watching. Love yous.